haven't reacted to an animated story. And that's on purpose because, sometimes animated stories are hit or miss. More than the live videos, the live stories. But some of y'all do like the animated stories, so here we go. Hopefully I didn't hear these stories before. So, somebody knocking? Hold on. Nobody knocking.
This is something that happened a few years ago.
Bro, get your toes right. Get your toes right. And close that curtain behind you. Man, you sus.
I buy things on eBay here and there, and have been doing so for years.
eBay? I didn't even think eBay was still in business. I mean, I guess it is. It's just, I've never used eBay before. And I have no intentions on using eBay. But I didn't think people still use eBay. Just like I didn't think people still use Yahoo or AOL. I feel like most people have a Gmail account or use Amazon or Temu or Shein. Not eBay. Not Craigslist. Hell no.
I like to collect things like sports memorabilia, and occasionally I bid on auctions. One time I saw this autographed football that was signed by one of my favorite players. It had 0 bids, and the starting bid was pretty low. I expected it to go way...
I can't believe shit like that. I would literally need to see the player sign this shit in person. I don't believe that.
But I entered my maximum bid and then moved on, thinking maybe I had a shot at winning it. The auction still had several days left. Over the next few days, I actually forgot all about it. Then, I got a notification that I had won the auction and I could pay for the signed ball now. When I looked, I couldn't believe it. Not one single other person had bid on the ball, and I had won. I don't remember the exact price. I think it was maybe like $10. It was probably worth a lot more, maybe over $50. I was really excited and paid the money. The very next night, though, I was at home when my phone rang. During this time, I had a landline phone that I had for years. I did not recognize the number on the caller ID, so I didn't answer it. What followed shortly after was a message. A man's voice came onto my answering machine, and he said that he was trying to reach me and mentioned my name. He said that I had won his auction for the football, and unfortunately nobody else bid on it. Then he said that I was getting way too good of a deal, and it wasn't fair at all, but he was going to do me a favor and mail it anyways. He went on to say that he expects me to leave him a very good review after this. Now, this rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like how he called me up on my personal phone to say this. I won his auction fair and square. If he didn't want the risk of somebody paying $10 for it, then he shouldn't have started the bidding so low.
I just realized this is Nighttime Spooks. Oh my God, I be so slow sometimes.
He knew the risks. I went on eBay and looked at some other listings of the same player's autograph on a football. They were going for a little over $50, so the guy lost out on about $40. It's not that big of a deal. Just 2 days later, I received the football in the mail. It was fast shipping, because I guess the guy lived in the same state as me. After receiving the football, it was packaged well, and just how it looked online. I went on eBay to leave the good review that the seller wanted so badly. To be honest, I really didn't want to leave him a good review after what he did. It kind of annoyed me. But when I logged into eBay, I noticed that he had already left me a negative review. On eBay, sellers and buyers can leave each other reviews. You can leave it positive, negative, or neutral. This affects your feedback, and people are less likely to buy or sell to you if you have a bad rating. Mine had been perfect to that point, and his was pretty good. I think it was like 99% positive. His negative review of me said, "Buyer got way too good of a deal." Clearly, he was upset about it, but I did not feel that it was fair for him to leave me a bad review. What was I supposed to do? I bid and I won. Did he expect me to offer to pay more for no reason? It angered me that he left me a bad review, so I left him a bad review. I said what happened. I said, I won the auction from this seller for a good deal. He then called my home phone complaining and demanded that I leave him a good review. He sent me a message after this, which I ignored. I didn't even open it. Then, the next day, he called me again. I didn't answer, and he left a...
How did he get your address? I don't know how eBay works, but like, if you're buying or selling, is your address just automatically to the public? Because if it is, that's...
Another message. This one was very angry. He berated me for about 3 minutes straight. I didn't even listen to the whole thing and deleted it. But this didn't stop him. He called me again several times the next day. I got frustrated, and luckily I had call blocker installed on my landline. I blocked his number so that he would finally stop bothering me. For several days, everything was fine. But then, one night, I was at home, and out of nowhere got a knock on my front door.
Oh, yeah?
I walked down to the front door, but before opening it, looked outside. It was a man who I did not recognize.
Hell no!
I didn't know why he would be here. I answered the door.
You want to take this to the head? Huh? Do you want to you want to drink this to the head? Go ahead and top this off real quick. Either you take this to the head or I beat you with the head. Whoa, pause. I meant to say I beat you over the head with this. I gotta slow down on my talking because that was so sus.
And the man standing there mentioned my name and asked if that was me. I said yes. He then told me that he sold me a football on eBay not long ago. As soon as I heard that, I slammed the door right in his face. This caused him to start...
That don't do shit! That don't do nothing!
Banging on my door. I yelled at him to go away or I was calling the cops. He was yelling and demanding that I give him the ball back, saying that I scammed him. I couldn't believe this guy. I'm not sure if he was really just mad about the ball at this point, or if he was just mad at me. He kept standing there and knocking on my door every so often. After he didn't leave for over 10 minutes, I called the police on him. When they arrived about 10 minutes after that, the man was still there. They spoke with him, and he gave his side of the story, which I'm not even sure what that was. An officer came inside and spoke to me, and said that the man outside kept claiming that I scammed him and stole his autographed football. I told the officer the whole story, and I showed him eBay proof on my phone. After a while, the police ruled in favor of me. They said that
It's a damn football. It's a football. At the end of the day, it's some material and some stitching going on. That's it. And maybe a little bit of air.
the transaction was fair and I owned the football. They told the man that he had to leave my property and told him not to come back. Eventually, the man agreed and left. After that, I never heard from him again.
My ass.
I still have the football, and every time I look at it, I laugh when I remember the crazy story that goes with it. So,
I just want to let y'all know, any horror story that deals with, oh God, any horror story that deals with the clucky knowing where you live or popping up where you live, and it just ends, the story ends like on a good note, it's not going to end well. It may end right then and there for that story, but like, as far as because they know where you live, it's never over unless you move. Or unless you get some top-notch Adidas security.
months ago, I sold my PlayStation 5 on eBay. My friend was getting rid of his PS5 for an Xbox, so he sold it to me for a really good price.
What? Go back.
I have the football, and every time I look at it, I laugh when I remember the crazy story that goes with it. Several months ago, I sold my PlayStation 5 on eBay. My friend was getting rid of his PS5 for an Xbox.
He got rid of his PS5 for an Xbox. Oh my God. That clock you. You don't know what you're doing. You're going to regret your decisions. And when you do regret it, you should not be able to buy another PlayStation for the rest of your life. Just saying. You got rid of your PlayStation 5 for an Xbox. An Xbox. It's PlayStation games. Stand up all day. Let's go.
So he sold it to me for a really good price. His PlayStation 5 was a little bit nicer than the version that I had, so I decided to sell mine. I listed it for a good price on eBay as a buy it now rather than an auction. Somebody bought it after just 2 days, and the very next day, I packaged it up really good and shipped it. I sent it to the address that was given from the eBay account that bought it from me. Now, 3 days after I shipped the PlayStation, and 4 days after it was sold, I got a message on eBay from the buyer. He told me that he recently moved and forgot to put his new address on his eBay account. Then he asked me that I ship it to his new address instead. I responded and told him that I already shipped the PlayStation several days ago and that it was too late. The guy freaked.
Fuck. It's a PS5. It's a PS5, Mo. I'm not gonna lie. If I randomly got a PS5, I'm just taking it. I'm taking the PS5 without no question, without no hesitation, and I'm not coming out the house. I'm locking everything down. Because I know it was a mistake. Who just sends out a PS5 like that? Damn. Shit. And to be honest, I don't know if I would even trust that, now that I think about it. eBay is just like Craigslist, you know? You're sending a stranger your address. So it's, I don't know.
Out, saying that I should give him a refund because he wasn't going to get it. I told him that he should have realized that, either before he bought it or within the first day. What was I supposed to do? Sit around waiting for his blessing for me to ship it? I mean, normally, people want things shipped as fast as possible after they buy it. He said that he was going to report me to eBay, but that didn't really scare me because I knew I had done nothing wrong. I told the guy that the package will have his name on it, so he should either go to his old address and pick it up, or contact whoever now lives there and ask them to send it to him. In my mind, that was a very logical solution. Obviously, if it was at the wrong address, there was a chance that somebody would steal it, but I mailed it in a box where it wasn't obvious that it was a PS5. The guy did not seem to think my ideas were good. He just told me that he needed a refund, and he kept threatening me, saying that he would have my eBay account banned. I told him that I wasn't going to refund him.
It's eBay.
Over the next few days, the guy kept harassing me, sending me messages. He kept saying that I had to give him a refund. He really wanted the money, but I wasn't going to give it to him. I just ignored him. So about a week later, I was looking at some of the messages that he sent me, and I decided to look him up, just for the heck of it. His username seemed to be his actual name. It was a first name, an underscore, and then a last name and a bunch of numbers. The last name was somewhat unique sounding, so I thought that I might be able to find him. I wanted to know what this guy looked like that was harassing me so much. I went onto Facebook and entered his name. Just one result came up, and it was a younger looking man. His page was public, so I could see everything that he posted and stuff, and he was quite active. I scrolled down just a little bit and saw a post that nearly blew my mind. He had posted a picture of a PlayStation 5 with the caption, "Just got this bad boy in the mail. Hit me up if you want to play some COD." The PlayStation looked just like the one that I had sold, and it was dated just 3 days after I had mailed the PlayStation, and the very same day that the guy told me that he had the wrong address. This guy was totally trying to scam me. It was a pretty bad attempt too, to be honest. I screenshotted the post and then sent it to him on eBay. The guy claimed that it wasn't him. Then he backtracked and said that it was his friend's PS5, not his. Then he backtracked again and called me a curse word. After that, I never heard from him again. I buy things on eBay all the time. I've bought things from video games to phones and even computers.
So is eBay where it's at? Not Amazon no more? Huh? Not Amazon Prime no more? eBay, that's where it's at?
I've also sold a couple of items as well. This is something that took place just last year. My mom's birthday was coming up, and I wanted to get her a new phone because the one that she was using was old and slow. She uses an iPhone, and I think she had like a 7 or 8 or something. I was looking up newer ones and was trying really hard to find a great deal. I should have just paid a fair price and bought one from one of those companies that refurbish them. That way, you know what you're getting and everything is handled professionally. But instead, I got carried away trying to get the best deal. I was constantly scouring the latest listings and auctions. I found one that was a really good deal. It was selling for about $100 less than I would expect to pay for the phone. It was still several $100s though. There were a few pictures of the phone in what appeared to be the person's house. In the listing, the seller said that it worked great, but they had gotten a different phone and no longer needed it. It seemed legit, and I looked at the seller, and they didn't have any other items for sale, but did have a 99% rating. When I saw where the seller was located, I noticed that it was in a city very close to me.
What if like these 99% ratings or these good ass comments are false and the buyer or the seller is making the people, it's like, what's it called? Forcing them to write good comments. That's a possibility.
Only like 30 minutes away. That meant it would probably only take like a day or two to ship. I decided to buy it and felt really good with the money that I would be saving. A couple of days later, and the phone arrived in the mail. As soon as I unboxed it though, I realized that I had been scammed. The phone that I received was not even close to what I bought. It was one of those cheap Android phones that you can get for like $40 at Walmart.
Oh shit!
I really couldn't believe it. I went onto eBay and compared what it said I bought versus what I received. I had gotten scammed badly. I contacted the seller, demanding an explanation. When I did, I got no response. After not hearing back from him, I contacted eBay and reported his profile as well. I now saw that he had another listing of the same phone that I bought. I left a negative review, warning anybody else and telling them what had happened. I hoped that nobody else would fall for his scam. After several days of trying to contact the seller and communicating with eBay, things finally got resolved. I was able to get a refund from my bank, and I was told that the account got suspended as well. I was able to buy my mom an actual iPhone for her birthday. I was still mad about what happened though, but not long after I found out the account had been banned, I think the same night or else the next one, it was late at night and I was literally in bed about to fall asleep. I was on my phone until I got tired. It was probably a little bit after midnight, and suddenly I heard a loud bang at the back of my house.
Jesus.
During that time, I rented a smaller house, which I lived by myself in. I got up from my bed and walked to the doorway. The sound came from the back of my house on the other side. Then I heard it again. It was followed by another bang, which I could hear was from the kitchen window at the back of the house. My bedroom was at the front of the house, so it was a ways away, but I could still hear it very clearly because of how loud it was. Somebody was there. I heard whoever was there start hitting the window repeatedly. I didn't waste any time and went back inside my bedroom and locked the door behind me. Then I got my phone and called the police. I told them that it sounded like somebody was trying to break into my house. Shortly after, I heard glass breaking. They had succeeded in breaking in. I let the police know, and they said that some officers should arrive shortly. Then I heard more loud noises.
Damn.
This time, inside. It sounded like whoever was inside was just destroying things or hitting everything in sight. I heard glass breaking, chairs falling over, and other loud noises. This went on for about a minute straight, and then stopped. Things became very silent after. I heard a little bit of noise coming from the back of the house, as if somebody was walking. Then that stopped too, and everything was completely silent. I remained in my room until the police got there. When I came out of my room, I saw that everything in my kitchen had been all messed up. My back window was smashed, glass was all over the place, and lots of other things were on the floor. Several dishes and cups had been smashed. My table and chairs in the kitchen were all knocked over. Lots of things from the cabinet were on the floor, and I saw several dents in the cabinets and furniture. They basically just trashed my kitchen and left. I told the police everything that I could, and then they left. I stayed with my parents for the rest of the night, and the entire next week as well. My window got replaced, and I got some new furniture. I only lived in that house for a few months after, and I don't live there anymore. Since then, everything's been fine, but I never found out who did it. I truly believe that it was...
Who do you think? Who do you clucking think, James? I don't know if that's your name.
...person who scammed me on eBay. I think they were angry that I got their account taken down.
No shit.
If they were running that blatant of a scam, there's no telling what they could do. Plus, they knew my address from shipping me the phone, and I had seen that they lived not very far away from me. Luckily, I don't live there anymore. Hopefully, nobody else gets scammed.
They're gonna keep getting scammed.
The pandemic forced a lot of people to search for new employment.
Who is this? Whose voice is this? If anybody knows, let me know in the comment section.
And opportunities, especially during the initial economic onset. Uber Eats, DoorDash, Amazon, all of them saw crazy surges in traffic when cities ordered people to stay indoors. Many places deem these drivers essential workers, which kept me employed for several unstable months throughout COVID. I became a delivery driver out of necessity back then, but actually still had to do it part-time on the weekends still. My story takes place during 2020, when no one really knew what the future had in store. I was working for a big-name delivery company, one of the largest cities in the United States. At the time, I was constantly behind by at least a day's worth of deliveries, if not more. Strikes are going on. People are ordering more stuff than ever before. It was a lot to handle, and it made a pretty high-stress work environment. One day, I see a meme about how all we do is pee into water bottles and then lose packages. Honestly, it was the golden age for delivery driver memes. Because of how behind I was on my route, I started working overtime pretty much every day. Instead of delivering from 9 to 5, I'd start at 8 in the morning, and then just go until I was totally burnt out, which is usually around 7 p.m., maybe a little longer if I had a Red Bull that day. It was one of my last packages for the night, and I remember thinking to myself that it could just wait till the morning and be my first delivery the next day. I was really hungry and just wanted to put my feet up. But the destination was nearby. I'm a go-getter, so I just went. And the parcel was no bigger than my fist. It wasn't spending the night in my truck, so I wish I wasn't so stubborn. Why didn't I just go home like I wanted to? The essential worker tag was going to my head. I pull up outside of this apartment complex, and I'm talking chalk line outlines on the sidewalk, caution tape rippling in the breeze. Not literally, but you get what I mean. Groups of guys patrolling the parking lot, milling around the dark corner. Big dogs barking from every tiny gate. Bullet holes in some of the cars. I'm in a big city, and some of the underbelly is seedy, almost unsightly. I scan the package in my hand, and I leave the truck and search the actual address. From what I can see, it seems to be a ground floor resident. And thank God I don't have to climb 10 flights of stairs just to hand off this bulk chapstick, or whatever the hell it is. I lock the truck behind me just to be safe. There's nothing in it to steal, but this neighborhood is just not worth gambling in. After perusing around, I find the building that it's actually in, and then finally the unit. It's a dingy corner apartment with all the windows covered with all kinds of crazy shit. Tin foil, movie posters, food boxes, like cereal, you name it. It's all blocking the light out of this dump. I get a weird feeling the second I see it, but hey, I'm almost out of here. I walk around to the front and find a guy leaning against a tree, smoking a cigarette. I gave him a courtesy nod, to which he offers a 2-finger salute. Standard guy exchange in my city. I turn my heel and approach the front door. I've already decided I don't want to be here anymore, so I hit the bell and place the package on the floor. As I'm standing back up, the door rips open in front of me with this agitated energy. It's every driver's nightmare on shift. The irritated, panicked, where you have to be recipient of whoever wants to jam you up like they're a cop. As I get upright, I can see this is different though. This guy is real thin, half-dressed, and just covered in what I can only assume to be track marks.
Jesus.
Dirty, unwashed, and the living room behind him was disgusting. We make eye contact, I say hello, and then I turn to leave. "What the hell, man? I've been waiting for you all day," he shouts at me.
I would have been like, nah. And I would have gave him the same energy. Well, I gave it here now. I gave it to you now. What's up? You see the package? It's right there. What's up? Take the damn package, go in the house, lock the door, enjoy your chapstick. What's up?
Turn back around and shrug, offer my normal apology. Hey, we're understaffed, man. What more can I say? Well, I think I saw you drop my package, no? I come to a full stop. I have no idea what this guy is talking about. I pointed the one at his feet and asked if he meant that one. Yeah, man, I watched you throw it against the door. It's probably broken. I start to argue, but the whole thing is a racket.
You watched me throw it at the door? That's weird. Because on my van, there's cameras all over in 8K. And I'm right outside your house. How about you and I rewatch the footage? Clock?
The guy behind me smoking a cigarette is a friend of the guy in the apartment. The guy in the apartment says, "Hey, did you see him do it?" And of course, cigarette guy nods and says, "Yep, I saw the whole thing."
Wow.
Now this is turning into an actual problem.
Wow.
Not just them.
Wow. I would have been like, "Fuck you. You ain't shit. I hope you die soon because of the cigarettes."
To report me or something, but being surrounded by potentially dangerous criminals. They try to usher me inside the apartment so we can get it all worked out. But I have my own protocol to follow, and right near the top of the list is never get made to go anywhere, especially on shift. The guy in the apartment pulls out a gun right out of his pants pocket and points it right at my face. The entire conversation stops and we're all just looking at the trigger, waiting. He asked me to reconsider going inside and that all of this is just a big misunderstanding. The guy with the cigarette puts his smoke out, grabs my elbow, and then leads me inside. My heart is pounding through my chest at this point. Anything could happen. After we get into the living room and they shut the door, all of my suspicions are confirmed. This place is a crack house, without a doubt. And these two clowns are a couple of dealers. Radical. Exactly where I want to be. The guy puts the pistol away pretty much the second they got the door locked. He seemed even nervous to have it out, which did come as a relief to me. Not a fan of him waving it around either. The scariest part was actually the door. Once they got me inside, the whole situation evolved into an episode of the Three Stooges. They tried to call my office for 15 minutes. They were so strung out, they couldn't even look at the phone for longer than a minute to actually pull up the number and then hit dial. From what I gathered, these guys have run out of whatever they were actually addicted to and were filling out the cravings with whatever they could get their hands on. To say these guys were high wasn't accurate. They looked like they hadn't slept in days, running on fumes of whatever dust was left at the bottom of the bag. That's when they came up with the scam that they were trying to pull. Like everyone else, they'd seen dozens of videos online of careless drivers dumping packages over fences and things like that. So they ordered something small and cheap off of Amazon, then painstakingly waited at the door for it to arrive, just to peg a fake crime on an innocent, unsuspecting driver. I wondered how long that guy had been leaning up against the tree, waiting for me to show up.
The whole time.
They were completely crazy. It
All
was
day.
actually kind of entertaining. They thought they were going to get a payout of some kind, right in the middle of the night. Like us delivery guys carry a little fallback cash, just in case we break something. I couldn't quite understand the logic, but I appreciate the desperation. I encouraged them just a little, just to see how far they'd actually go, how much more they'd come up with to justify all this craziness. Trying to get them to just focus on the phone was the funniest part, though. I had to keep it within reason. These guys did force me in here. They did have a gun, so it wasn't all fun and games or anything. Something got their attention in the back of the apartment. Both of their heads snapped and they reacted to something that I couldn't see or hear. I'm assuming it was just typical hallucinations from staying awake for so long. Either way, they both thought that they could hear someone breaking in and sneaking around the back bedroom. One of them is turning the drawers in the kitchen upside down looking for a flashlight. The other guy's just yelling, keeping an eye on the dark hall in front of him. They don't find a flashlight, but they're both holding cell phones, and this seems to be kind of my chance, so I tell them both of their phones have a flashlight. They just have to turn it on. They both go mental at this realization and frantically flick their lights on. They tell me to keep an eye on the front door and watch their backs. I nod like we're old war buddies, and I never let them down. As they went down the hallway and checked the rooms, I slowly shuffled back to the door and unlatched the deadbolt. The last thing I saw was the glare of the cell phone lights against the dingy back wall, and the shaky silhouettes of the pistol going from one room to the other. Absolute chaos. I wasn't out of the woods yet, though. I still needed to get back to my truck in this sketchy complex, and then navigate my way out of the slums and back into the city. It was much later than I thought, and all I wanted to do was just get home. I went from a walk to a light jog, as to not draw too much attention. Everything was going smoothly until I reached the parking lot, when I hear something behind me. I still don't know exactly what I heard, but it sounded like someone running up on me. So I whirled around, and there's no one there. All right, now I'm hearing things. As I turn to face back into the parking lot, I rotate just in time and step into the angled antenna of one of the car that's nearest to me. It had been bent at the base, so it just jutted out instead of going straight up and down. That antenna was also perfectly level with my eye, and it pushed right beneath the lid and then right behind my actual eye. I harpooned my own face in a mad dash to get the hell out of this place. There's no grace in that reaction. In a panic, I flailed backward to get away from whatever was causing the pain.
Oh my God!
I need to injure myself worse. That antenna had a little bead on the end, which I could feel putting pressure between my eye. That metal rod must have been inside my eye at least an inch or two.
God damn!
I pulled myself backwards. All of it slid out the same way it went in, and the pain was beyond all measure. Droplets of blood are now leaking from the base of my eye. I was stuck within 15 feet of the security of my delivery truck, but I can't see the keys to open up the door. I stumbled to the back and sat on the bumper, just holding my eye and praying that it didn't fall out. After around 45 minutes, my vision cleared up a little, but the pain was still explosive. I managed to get back into the truck and then slowly drive back toward my house. As we didn't have to return them if we were behind. We just swap it out for a totally new, fully loaded truck in the morning. My eye thankfully didn't fall out, but I did require some pretty involved visits to the doctor for around 18 months after that. I like to think that those crackheads are still holed up in that apartment, looking for a phantom burglar. They probably don't even remember taking me hostage.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not. God damn. I'm not gonna lie. With that last dude, I would have just left the package there, possibly took a picture of it, and that's it. Like, if one of your neighbors wants to steal your package off your property, that's on you. Don't call me, don't text me, don't talk to me. Please don't communicate with me at all. No, because even if you would have said, I saw you throw it, at that point, I would have just left. Your package is there. You got your package, and I would have just left. I'm not sticking around. I'm not lingering around. I'm not waiting on nothing. Like, my job is done. You got your package. Now I'm getting out your face. Cluck. And I don't know if I should check out eBay now. I mean, I had no interest in checking eBay or going on eBay before this video, but I want to see what's popping on eBay. Maybe is it as bad as Craigslist, or is it as good as Amazon? Let me know that in the comment section below. Keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you. Stay happy, my family.